All right, good morning. We're in the shop again today and we're working on and getting started on the cabinet. This is a continuation of the 62 Corvair van that we got started on. We're going to go ahead and continue working on this one here. We're going to go ahead and recreate this counter, of course, because it's in pretty bad shape, and see what we can do. There's a little bit of crafting we're going to have to try to do. I think we're going to have to try to do something with these, as I think we mentioned earlier. That bottom one's pretty rotted out. I have a trick I may try to do to try to build these over again. I've been looking at that. So we'll start with that, but the first thing I want to do, we're going to build this countertop. Instead of Formica on here, which looks pretty bad, we're just going to go ahead and build that, I believe, out of some wood that we've been using for the trim and all. I think we can get probably a 3/4 inch thick, so we'll want to take some 1-inch ones. We're going to slab it up, and we're going to be using some of this dark wood that he brought by. I'm not really concerned about the thickness or the width as we butcher block top this thing together. We'll have some thicks, some thins, whatever, see what looks good. So we'll run these through table saw, put them together, glue them up, get them ready to go. That'll be the first part of the project. We'll start that up and keep you posted on what we're doing with it. And here we go. Okay, so we've got all these cut to length. We've got enough to do the whole thing. Kind of organized them out a little bit, so it'll give it a pretty decent look, I think. We're going to have to glue this up. I don't have clamps long enough to do the whole thing, so we're going to do that one and that one. We'll glue them on up, and then glue the two halves together and see if we can put a finish to them. But that should cover the entire top, so we'll glue them on up, see how she looks. Okay, so for progress this morning so far, we've got the two of them glued up, and we're letting them dry. And the next thing I was going to do is play around and see if there's anything I can do on this end down here. We've got the little curves here, and that bottom one did not end up being good enough to use. So I'm thinking I would love to make another one, but I don't have any kind of a steamer or anything that can cause that to circle like that. So I'm going to try something, and I don't know if it'll work. And man, if you know how to do it easier than what I'm doing it, please let me know with what I've got to work with. I took a big piece of wood and I just simply cut the shape that I wanted off of the one sample I had here, one of the samples. And this one broke as I was trying to just bend it around this. That didn't work so well, snapped off, so we got us a bigger piece. I soaked this in water for a little while just to kind of see if it would loosen the grain up a little bit, and it seems like it's kind of getting there. So I think what I will do is go ahead and try to glue it, and we'll see if it'll hold the shape after I glue it and clamp it back onto these two shapes. We'll do these two. They're fairly dry now. I was hoping the water would help maybe keep them somewhat in shape. So let it soak for a little while, and they are bending around, and they're fairly thin little strips. I mean, they're I don't know if you can see, real thin. So I'm just putting all those together and see if we can make a full circle out of them, so, or a loop like that. Anyways, that's what we're trying. We'll find out here after I glue them up and clamp them back down if that actually will work. Can't wait to see. Okay, we're gonna do a quick update on us here. We've got these two. I had to do a little, I don't have one clamp long enough. We've taken two of those and put them together and got them clamped up, clamped down to the base to the table so that they stay flat. Nothing too serious there with just the one joint. Might have to do a little more if we had more than one joint, but got some rain running out here, so maybe that'll cool us down a little bit in here. It's still 90-some degrees, 96 or something like that in here. We're a little hot and sweaty this afternoon. We're going to go ahead and start on this. I went ahead and just set a piece of 1/2-inch plywood up on this and just pretty much traced around it. Give me the back of this platform. I really don't know why we have this hole here. I don't know if I need to actually add that or not. I don't know the purpose of it. So if we end up needing it, we'll go ahead and cut that in. So we've got that one done. And over here, we've got the glue up of this. And I've taken the other ones that I had, and we've kind of just, I've wet them down, and I'm going to let them just sit here like this. They're pretty well in the clamps and make them kind of halfway take the shape. This one here is glued up, and we'll use this one form so that all of them are exactly the same. But this will get us fairly close anyways, I hope, make it a little easier to clamp up. So we'll just let these kind of sit there where they're at for a while and see if that kind of helps. That's it for that progress. So now we're just going to pretty much do the same thing on all the rest of these. Just kind of match the pieces up and cut them out. And pretty much all we need. We get the base, I think, next, so we can start getting that together. Alright, we're taking a look at what we've got clamped up, and it looks like everything's kind of holding pretty good. I think they're going to turn out fine. We'll go ahead and unclamp my mold, and we'll start forming and sanding these things and see what we ended up with. But I think I might have it looking pretty good. Okay, so for the update on this, we had them all clamped up, glued up. I've taken them off, run them through the table saw, got them leveled out, put a little bit of sanding on them, and to match those up with the original one, I think it's looking pretty darn close. I think I'm gonna be happy with that. They're all pretty close. The only one I didn't like real well is this one here. Has a lot of little holes where it didn't clamp quite as tight. So we'll probably a little CA glue and save some dust from the sanding. We'll fill that in so it matches the same color, and I think we'll be all right with that. And we'll move on to the next part, which is the top. Since this is the next thing that takes the most work, we'll take this, and I think I'm going to try to send this through the sander and just get it somewhat close before I hit it on the other. So I'm going to run that through sander. Let's see if it helps at all or if that makes a mess of it. If not, I might have to run it through the planer. I don't know how that would work on this. Kind of got to be a little bit careful. Don't want to mess up too bad. So anyways, we'll see if we can make the top of this thing smoother. That's next. We'll let you know how it works out. Okay, we went ahead and sent this through. I tried to sander with the big drum sander. It didn't work too well. One, it's not quite wide enough to get it the whole way. And then secondly, it was just going to take forever. So I did go ahead and try my big planer, and it took it down and did a very nice job with it. So good helical heads on there, I think, help out a lot. Got it smoothed out pretty good. I think just a little bit of sanding and we'll be in good shape. Run it through the table saw and got it squared up. We'll probably put this off to the side for now. We will have to cut the sink into it, and we'll have to round off the corner and make it look like that. But I think I want to build the rest of the cabinet first. Probably this back side's going to have a little bit of an angle to match up with this end of it, because that is at a slight angle. So we'll go ahead and see if we can build the rest of these pieces in parts, and then we'll kind of go from there, I think. So let me go ahead and start cutting up. We got the base already here, and I've got the side panels on the saw ready to go there. We'll start cutting those and then match up the patterns and get the right angles going. Let's see what goes with it next. Okay, I've been kind of hard at it. Time for a little bit of an update to show you some progress. I've been putting this out here. Everything's just laying in place. I like these little 4x4 blocks. I keep them around just to line things up and kind of set them in place where they're supposed to be. We've got clamps just kind of holding the shelves up. We've got everything pretty well cut and put where it needs to be. I think on this side it's going to look about the same as that cabinet. And the back side's looking pretty good too. I think everything's going to line up good. So we're going to go ahead and I think we'll go ahead and start putting it together. I've got, I think, one more small shelf to add down in here yet that I have not got in place, but I think I can put that in after I get the faceplate and all put on, I think. So we're going to try for that anyways. So there's the little bit of an update for this morning, and we'll be right back with the next update when we get it ready.